Brad is gone for the weekend. He left today. I'm in my sweatpants. I'm ready to talk about macros. One of the biggest questions that we get all the time is, how do I track my macros? And although we think it's simple because we've been doing it for a while, it's not always simple to start out. Remember that when you're tracking your macros, you are tracking your carbs and your fats and your proteins. So it's just a specific way of tracking calories because, as you know, carbs and fats and proteins, they make up your calories. So if you've ever counted calories before, this is very similar. It's just a more specific way of doing it. Remember, every gram of carb is 4 calories, every gram of fat is 9 calories, and every gram of protein is 4 calories. So when you get your numbers calculated after you watch Brad's video, depending on whether you're bulking or you just want to maintain your weight or you want to lean out a little bit or lose weight, everything that you have in these macro counts or macro budgets goes towards your calorie count. But don't worry about calories. It's not your job to count them. All you want to do is count these numbers that you have. These are your numbers. Then, by the end of the day, tonight, you're going to want to reach 170 carb, 125 protein, and 55 fat. If you go over, that's not always okay. It's fine when you're starting out. If you go over by 1 or 2, absolutely fine. If you undershoot, that's also fine. Just make sure it's 1 or 2 over or under, okay? Try to be under. If you're under and it's 9 p.m. and it's time to go to bed and you have, 5 carbs left and 1 fat and 2 protein left, don't go try to find something that equals that, or eat like a quarter of a rice cake and a tablespoon of egg whites just to get to those numbers. That's not the purpose of this, okay? You don't have to eat it absolutely exactly every day, but get as close as possible. So with all the apps or pen and paper that you're going to use, at the end of the day, all of your food items that you consume should add up. You should have a tally of carbs, you should have a tally of proteins, a tally of fats, okay? And do they equal these numbers? If they do, awesome. High five, you did a great job. There are a couple different things you can do to track your macros every day. I use MyFitnessPal. It's an app on your phone. It's also a website, so when I'm at work, I can just kind of log on during lunch hour and get on there and put all my food in there if I need to do tracking anything extra that I didn't originally have in my plan. My Macros is another app that I've also used. It's very good. The problem that I found was some of the food items in the big data list, because on MyFitnessPal and My Macros, you can go in there and you can search pretty much any food item you can imagine. Anything you put in your mouth, it's going to be on there, okay? With My Macros, however, what I found was that some of the values were incorrect. This does happen on MyFitnessPal quite a bit, so you do have to be careful. I cannot emphasize it enough. Don't just trust what you're finding on your phone in those apps, okay? Do your research, get on Google, get on the website for that food product, and actually find out how many carbs, how many fats, and how much protein is in that food item. The other thing you can do, and I love it because our friend John does this, he uses pen and paper. This just is the easiest way for him. So he writes everything down every day and adds up his carbs and proteins and fats. Whatever you use to track, just make sure you're following some of these simple rules, okay? It's going to make it really easy on you when you first get going, and you'll find that some food items are not as worth it as others, okay? But I'll let you find that out for yourself. One thing I want you to do is plan ahead. So that means maybe you write out what each day is going to look like in that week. You spend Sunday just kind of planning out every day. If you like eating the same things every day, perfect. That's what I like to do. Monday through Friday, I pretty much eat the same thing every day. And so what I've done is I have a piece of paper up on my fridge, and I have everything listed out that I'm supposed to pack for work and eat after work, before a workout, and dinner. Okay, if you're not that like OCD and you don't want to do that, then maybe just take the night before and think about, I really want this for breakfast, I really want this for lunch, and start putting it in your app or on paper. Try to figure out how many carbs this has, how many fats, how many proteins. The other thing that you should be doing is also researching, okay? So if you're finding in your app or information or nutrition facts, you can't find out how much carbs or fats or protein is in something, then go on Google. I've done this so many times. Go on Google, try to find a valid source for how many carbs are in a certain fruit or vegetable. MyFitnessPal is usually pretty reliable, but not always. The other thing I need you to do is log everything. This is what we tell some of our online clients. You have to log everything. I don't care if it's one Skittle, I want you to put it in there, because guess what? One Skittle is about 1 carb, 1.5 carbs, and that counts, especially if you're eating 20 in a row. Remember to stay on your plan for at least 2 weeks, okay? Don't just do 3 days of your macros and say, oh, these carbs are too high or these carbs are not enough for me. No, try it out for at least 2 weeks. See what your weight does, see how your body changes, and then you can do some adjusting. This is the little list that I keep on the fridge for Brad and I. It's got Brad's list of foods and my list of foods. This is what I like to stick to every day. With all my digestive issues, it helps me to eat the same thing every day. Not everybody has to do this though. Every morning Brad and I have waffles. So that's half a cup of Kodiak cakes and a scoop of protein and some water, okay? That's just for one person, so I usually double the recipe if I'm making Brad's as well. So I'm gonna go into MyFitnessPal on my phone, super easy. I'm gonna go to add a breakfast food item, okay? I'm gonna add Kodiak cakes, got it, half a cup. I'm gonna do a scoop of protein. Make sure that you're looking at your protein bottle and making sure the carbs and fats and proteins are the same, because sometimes you'll find things are not correct in MyFitnessPal. I have my breakfast in there and lunch, so now it's telling me I'm at 76 protein. I am at 58 carbs and I'm at 15 fat, okay? So you keep doing that. So if you're gonna plan ahead, basically what you're trying to do on MyFitnessPal is just get yourself to your allotted carbs, your allotted fats, and your allotted proteins. If you do not have a scale, it's okay, all right? On MyFitnessPal or My Macros, you can find a lot of things that have just using a cup or a half a cup or a quarter of a cup, okay? So you can still do that. A scale is just a little bit more precise. If for some reason they have cupcakes at school and I really want one, I'm gonna eat one, most likely, and put it into my phone. And maybe I'll have to delete something that was on my plan, okay? One thing that I love to do, and I'll tell all of our clients to do this, is if you have a sweet tooth and you really want dessert, or there's something that you just won't give up, beautiful, you can still have it. Usually what I'll do is right in the morning, I'll program it in so that I've already allotted carbs and fats and proteins to that. I don't have to worry about it. And the rest of my day, I just eat to fill my certain budget and allotment. If you go out to eat, sometimes that happens, okay? But but you still want to stay within your macros because you know it's only Tuesday, you know, and I want to go out on Friday night and have a nice dinner, then make that out meal, going out, fit in your macros, okay? That means you're probably not gonna go eat fast food. You're probably gonna make a smarter choice. The beautiful thing and awesome thing about our day and age right now is that you can find menus online and you can pretty much get carbs, fats, and proteins from whatever menu they have put out there on the internet. If you don't want to plan like I do and make a list of the things that you want to eat and pack for lunch every day and dinner every day, then what you can do is just kind of move throughout your day. This is a very flexible lifestyle, and so it's awesome for that reason. But just make sure that you're tracking throughout the day. Don't get to 6 p.m. and track all the food and then go overboard because you just weren't paying attention. Make sure that whatever you put in your mouth, a couple minutes later, maybe halfway through the day, you track what your morning looked like. Then your workout, you track everything that you ate before your workout. There's literally the biggest spider over in the carpet right now. I think it's dead, but having Brad gone is the worst because he usually kills all my spiders.